Welcome back to the channel, guys, for another video here. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to be just talking straight up to the camera as opposed to me showing you something I'm working on or whatever like I do in my other videos. But my main topic today to talk about is buying a used 7.3 POWERSTROKE with high mileage on it. Let's just say it's 300,000 miles or whatever it is. It's going to be my advice from over the years of what I've seen with these trucks. We have a lot of high mileage trucks, landscape fleet trucks that we run, and that sort of thing, and I've worked on a bunch of them, so I've seen various things fail and leak and stuff on these. Even though they are great motors, I have seen a lot of things fail. Probably replaced everything that could go wrong on one of these trucks. With that said, I'm going to give you my advice on if you're in the market for this truck and sort of the mindset to have. So my first point of advice here is to have the right attitude going into that truck. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you should go into this purchase expecting that this truck is going to need work. It is a 20-year-old truck, keep in mind, and I can guarantee you at 20 years old that there are parts that have not been replaced yet. Even though at that mileage and that age, I'm sure a fair amount of parts have probably been replaced, there are parts that I'm sure are original. And that even if they replace it with some aftermarket garbage parts or something, there's going to be some sort of problem or leak or something wrong with that truck. So I'm just saying that up front is to go into this purchase having that right mindset that this truck is not perfect. It is not new. It is a used, most likely worn out truck at 300,000 miles. Now I don't mean worn out, good for nothing sort of thing. I mean that the truck is going to need attention, and like I said, it's not a new truck. So that's the biggest thing to keep in mind is that these 7.3s, they don't make them obviously anymore. They haven't made them since 2003. But the bottom line is that I guarantee you they're gonna need some work. So let me give some advice on what I think you should expect after you buy one. So more of that, having that right attitude going into this purchase is that you should expect to have to put money into this truck right away to get it reliable. At 300,000 miles, the truck is just simply not going to run without one single issue. You're going to have a breakdown, so what I'm saying is you should expect to put some money into that truck to get it right and know where you can drive it without having breakdowns. Little things go wrong, like the sensor, crank sensor goes wrong, seals, even they're 20 years old, weathering, climate patterns have occurred. Those usually leak, things like that. Like I'm saying, ask anyone who has a 7.3 if they've had a problem recently with a part going wrong or something like that. I guarantee they have, whether it's, like I said, a sensor, ICP sensor or something like that. Little stupid things like that, but they build up over time is what I'm getting at here is you will, if you don't put that money up front or expect to, you're going to spread your money out over time fixing parts, and those breakdowns may be at the worst time. If you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, if you drive these trucks far, that may occur at the worst time and you might not be able to fix it. You have to get it towed or whatnot. So I am just saying to have the best experience with one of these trucks is to expect to put a little bit of money in it, have that attitude that it's not a new truck. That word legendary gets tossed around a lot with this truck, which these engines are really good, but they were good for the first 10 to 15 years before stuff started leaking and going wrong and breaking. So they were good, but they could be good again. It's just now, at this point, they're starting to get to a breaking point in these trucks where their parts are just so old, regardless of the mileage or stuff, that they just need to be replaced. So with that said, now I'm going to talk about going into this, what you should do to prevent all of this. In my experience is with the dozens of trucks that we've worked with, you should go into this expecting to replace pretty much everything you can get your hands on. I'm talking resealing the oil pan, pulling the motor out, doing that, replacing pretty much every rubber component that's on that motor. I mean, little things go wrong like the sensors, up to the starters get worn out, fuel pump. I had the fuel pump actually die on me in my driveway, which is really lucky. Things like that, you just have no idea usually what the history of the truck is, what's been replaced here and there. So for example, I just replaced like crank sensor on my truck and ICP sensor. I just spent a couple $100 on that for no reason. There was nothing wrong with it. But like I said, I don't know the history. I don't know when it's been changed. And now I just have the peace of mind that I know that those aren't going to go wrong, especially since I bought the OEM parts. those were gonna last me a really long time now, and I wrote it down what I did to it, and I mean, it was a couple $100, but like I said, I have no idea what they are, and I really don't feel like breaking down somewhere or having issues in the middle of nowhere where I can't work on it or something. And I do keep a spare one of these in my glove, but like I said, I just have the peace of mind. I know there's a brand new part in there, and in that aspect, it's good to go. Everything that you can possibly do to replace it, I think, is the key to having these trucks be reliable. So go into this purchase trying to get the best price you possibly can. Get the truck as cheap as you possibly can. Like I said, it's a 20-year-old truck, 300,000 miles. Things are gonna need to be replaced. There's a fantasy out there that these people ask ridiculous prices, and then there's just this fantasy that these trucks are worth boatloads of money. I mean, I see these trucks go for a lot. I've seen them over 30 grand, which in my mind, that is boggling, because I know that those trucks are gonna need parts to be replaced at that price. It's not a new truck, like I said. So may have a little bit lower mileage or whatever, but go into the purchase getting the truck as cheap as you possibly can, and just expect to make up with that by putting your money into it, and then you'll have a good time with the truck. Because if you put the money up front, fix what's wrong with it, fix the leaks, you'll just have the peace of mind that you have done everything you can to make this truck reliable, and now it will really be reliable because it won't leak. Like I said, you put that money up front to fix some of those things, the parts will be good, and you won't have breakdowns. I've just noticed with this truck, which is my point of making this video, that when I bought it, I didn't put all this money into it. I just bought it and drove it. And over time, I've had these little problems trickle in, and they're just various time wasters for me when the truck breaks down. And sort of, I wish I did everything from the beginning, which now luckily I pretty much have. Taking care of everything on that motor, from resealing it from the bottom to the top pretty much. The only thing I haven't touched are injectors, but I've had much better success now, way fewer issues or leaks or whatnot now that I just did it all. That's pretty much my point of the video, is to just go into the purchase and expect to just put some money in if you really intend on keeping the truck for a long time. So with that said, I know I've been talking for a little bit, but hopefully you guys get a little bit out of my advice here. If you're in the market for one of these trucks, you'll have a way better experience. Just from my experience, I'm telling you that once we do everything to our landscape trucks, we reseal everything, and we don't have any leaks or issues on them. So just keep my advice in the back of your mind if you're in one of these trucks. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got for you guys today. And if you liked the video, I know this is a little bit of a different style for me, but I want to do a little bit more talking too once in a while in these videos, rather than just showing everything. I want to give you some of the knowledge and experiences that I have with these trucks. But if you liked it, be sure to leave a like down there, comment, give me some feedback on what you thought, and definitely hit that subscribe button. Go hit it right now, please, because you're not gonna wanna miss this truck once I get this back together. This is going to be sick. It's something that I haven't really seen before, so I'm just as excited as you guys are. If you're out of the loop, this truck's gonna be a Shorty dually, which is pretty much almost done at this point, which is why I'm not showing you anything, because I want to save it for the video. But hit that subscribe button, because that's probably going to be one of my next videos coming up real soon. By the end of the week, I hope to have it done. Just waiting on some last minute parts, and that's it. So have a good night.